If you want to bring more liveliness in your coloring, then adding shadows can help you a lot with that. And when I color Secret Garden drawings or the other Joanna Besford drawings, I always think about where I can add shadows so the drawing has a more 3D look. And there are some rules about adding shadows, and I would like to show you something more about that and how you can use it, this principle, in every drawing that you do. This is a piece of paper on which I sketched 8 large squares with 8 smaller squares in it. And there is a free downloadable version of this this sheet of paper, so if you want you can join me in this exercise. Now first of all I will give some color to the both squares, so I will give the small one a little bit of yellow. For this exercise the exact color you give it really doesn't matter. You want to give this square completely different color, that is okay too, because eventually this will be about the shadows. And I will give the backgrounds a green color. Now for this exercise I'm not using my very light touch, this is just putting color on the paper fast. So now let's zoom out a little bit, and now we're going to determine where the shadow will come. And let's pick a color, let's pick this one. I will start putting the shadow in with a darker green, and that is purely to be sure, because if you use the wrong color for the shadow things may look very unnatural. Now in this case I decided that the yellow square is in front of the larger green one, and I will give, so this yellow little one will cast a shade somewhere on the green. Now if I decide that the sunlight comes from this direction, artificial light gives shades as well. So if I say, well, the shadow comes from this direction, that means that, so I will draw that for you. This is the shadow of the direction of the sun. Now all the points of the square will leave its shading in the same direction. So this will go somewhere here, this will go somewhere here, this will go somewhere here. So now when you look at the drawing, it looks like there is a distance between the yellow square and the green one. It is like it is floating in front of it, and therefore it is cast in this shade. Now you can play with the size of the shadow, and the size of the shadow will tell you something about the distance between the two squares. So let's go to the other squares and add the same colors. You know, I really like my very light layering, but sometimes just adding a lot of color with some pressure and just making large, just not too precise. Sometimes it's just, it feels good sometimes. Like now. So if you don't like scribbling and being very precise, then well, just now and then just do this. Just okay. Now let's add the yellow to this one. Okay, there we go again. Now the sunlight comes from the same direction. And now I will increase the distance between the yellow and the green square. And that will mean that the placing of the shadow will differ. So I will give these points the same direction, but only further away, farther away. You taught me how to what the difference is between further and farther. So if I am right, then in this case the points are farther away from the square. Okay, let's see what happens now. Now here you can see the difference. The yellow square on the left looks closer to the green one than the yellow square on the right. that one on the right looks closer to you and farther away from the green. Now there are a lot more rules about drawing shadows, so this is just a basic idea, because it could well be that the shadows that you need to draw have a different shape than the object that is casting it. So in this case, to keep it simple, I kept the shadow the same, look like a square, just like the yellow square. But maybe you have noticed it if in late afternoon or in the evening, when the sunshine is hitting a tree and that tree is casting a shade, then the shadow of the tree may be a lot longer than the tree actually is. You can test that with your own shadow if you're standing in the sun. That in late afternoon, when the sun is low on the horizon, that your shadow will be a lot longer than when midday and the sun is high in the sky. So that information may help you to give your drawings the exact feel that you want to give it. Now let's have some more fun, but because with the exact same line drawing, you can do something completely different. And I will give the squares the same color again. The yellow one. And the green one. Now what if this yellow square was not in front of the yellow, but it was actually a hole in the green square, and that yellow is behind the green? Then this would happen. Let's say that the light comes from the same direction. Then the green would cast a shade on the yellow. Now let's do it. So. So here you have 3 the same drawings and completely different outcome. And I will do the 4th also with the same colors. Nope. I almost dropped you. So let the light come from the same direction again. And now, what if the distance between the green and the yellow was bigger, but the yellow is still behind the green? So it is like a picture framed. So now this point I translate it to here in the same direction as the arrow, and then do this. Nope. The only thing you need to be very precise about is what I did wrong over here. If you make shadows too large, then it will look unnatural. Let's see if I can fix it a little bit. So if the shadow is way bigger than the object that casts it, I will show you in another video, maybe. So, now let's take a look from afar. So these are 4 different outcomes when you play a little bit with shadows. So there are 4 other squares on this sheet of paper, so I suggest you download it on the Passion for Pencils blog, and you will find the link to this page in the description below the video. And well, you can try things a little bit. Good luck and bye bye.